The 5 seed Los Angeles Chargers are headed into Houston this Saturday for the wild card playoffs. Going into the year, the Texans were in the mix to be Super Bowl contenders. They had acquired Joe Mixon and Stefon during the offseason, but unfortunately their season was impacted by many injuries. Each of their wide receivers were injured and put on IR some point in the year. Unfortunately, only Nico Collins is left for the team, as Stefon and Tank Dell are out with lower leg injuries or knee injuries. Due to that, CJ Stroud and the Texans' offense has been very underwhelming and not what they were last year. CJ's stats for 2024 were 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and a QBR of 50.2, which ranks 24th in the league. Compared to the 2023 stats, he had 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a QBR of 58. Much better than the 2024 season. Now, some could say this was just Stroud didn't get as lucky as he did last year, but I think the main reason here is that, one, they got a better running back in Joe Mixon so they can run the ball more, and two, obviously the injuries and just not having a stable wide receiver core. Like I said, Joe Mixon has been a shoulder to lean on while the star wide receivers were hurt or on IR. He had 1,000 yards on the ground and 300 in the air. Both offenses are in the bottom half of the league when it comes to yards per game. So we should be looking for a low defensive battle that goes to the end of the game. Both the Chargers and the Texans have a high-caliber defense. Chargers only give up about 17 points per game, while the Texans only give up about 21. The Chargers' season was somewhat cloudy and concerning heading into the season. They lost key guys like Austin Eckler and Kennan Allen, but they did pick up some also key guys with Ladd McConkey, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins. Justin Herbert made a stride in the right direction. He had 3,700 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a QBR of 65.3, which ranks him 11th among all other quarterbacks. This is a great stride from last year, where he only had 3,100 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. But this is not his best play. His best play was back in 2021, where he had 5,000 yards passing and 38 touchdowns. Ladd McConkey is the star wide receiver for the Chargers, like I mentioned. The rookie wide receiver coming out of Georgia put up 1,000 yards receiving and was a pivotal part of the offense. A lot of the credit needs to go to the Chargers coaching staff and Jim Harbaugh. They have done a phenomenal job with this very young team and have turned them into first or second round contenders. So the keys to victory for the Texans, it is to use Joe Mixon effectively and open up the offense with runs, screens, etc., and also limit turnovers. The Chargers defense already doesn't give you a lot of possessions, so it is key to not just hand one of your possessions back to the Chargers. The Chargers need to spread out the ball on offense. Ladd McConkey is great, J.K. Dobbins is great, but they need to spread out the ball. They like to find the tight end on the seam. Hopefully that should be a big role for them in this game. Also, just play Jim Harbaugh football. Jim knows what it takes to win, and I think it can suit him well in this game. I would look for the Chargers to win this low-scoring game, 21-17. I just don't believe that the Texans have what it takes to stop the Chargers in the first round. And I have them moving on to the divisional round of the playoffs.